What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. We are live coming at you from Germany. Let's get copious, man. That's right. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff today. We got Conor McGregor retiring and all of the stories that are coming out. Is it about money? Is it about something a little bit more personal, which I think it's about? Or what exactly is this, and will he fight again? We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that because that's very interesting to me. We're going to talk about NXT tonight. Whether or not I'm even going to do it tonight, probably not. That's why I'm doing it now, and I'll explain that in a moment. We also got the big thing that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple days. I really want to get into the meat and potatoes of Monday Night Raw, man. I really want to talk about Raw and get into that, and specifically the third hour. We gots to talk about that third hour. We gots to have a conversation. So we're going to do that as well. Plus, I got a rant on a few bitches in the NHL playoffs, man. We've had some serious bitch-like attitude from my own goddamn team, the Chicago Blackhawks. So I'm going to get into that. Andrew Shaw, just bitch-like, and it's not going to be the thing that everybody's talking about. I don't give a shit that he said the word fag. I don't care. I don't care. Because, yes, it's bad that he said it. Should he say it? No. Should he be suspended? No. No. And I'm going to get into that more. Here's the fucking thing about that. He should be suspended, but not for that. He should be suspended for acting like a fucking animal. For a fucking animal. He was acting like an animal out on the ice. Suspended for that, but go to sensitivity training and all that. They're fucking hockey players. No, that's crazy. But the NHL has the absolute right to do that. It's their goddamn league. If they want players to represent them in a certain manner, that's just the way of it. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to start with personal. Something personal. It's a little bit something that's going on in my life right now. Kind of want to talk about it because I've had a day. And it's the whole reason why I'm doing this show right now. I just kind of need to talk to my peoples, man. I just needed to talk to my peoples. So that's what we're doing. Before I do that, big shout out to everyone in chat. Matthew Camarillo, Joe Martin, Carl Gibney, Jericho's Ambrose. He's got the stomach flu. I'm sorry to hear that. Jericho's Ambrose is never good. I can relate. I'll talk to you about that in just a hot second because my whole family's sick. Joseph Blunt Jr. says it's always going to be cash or creative. Which is it for McGregor? It's neither for McGregor. And I'll tell you why. Jonathan Lawrence, Dave, you're an amazing person, and you can and will be even bigger than you are now. I certainly hope so. But even if I'm not, if I'm only doing this in front of two people, I'll still be doing it tomorrow. Not a big deal. K Sosa 64. Hey Dave, what's up, man? So hey, what's going on, everybody? Okay, here we go. You see, my family's sick as shit right now, man. My wife is a big, tough German lady. She doesn't get sick. And when she does get sick, it doesn't put her down. Well, she's got some kind of respiratory infection that is absolutely turning her insides into liquid shit. And my wife is going to be missing the next 4 days of work. Holy God. That does not happen. This is like the first time this has ever happened in 13 years of me knowing this woman. She's tough, man. She's really tough. So for her to go down like this it's significant. It's significant. I don't get many opportunities to take care of my wife. And those of you who know me and know this channel and followed along, you know that I'm hurt. I'm medically retired, mentally debatable, medically retired from the United States Army. I got hurt. Most of you guys know that. But what you don't know is how important my wife has been to me over the years, especially since I've gotten hurt. So having an opportunity to help her is, it's rare and it's great. I love being able to help my wife. And, my daughter's also sick. I let her have a big party over here earlier this weekend for her birthday, and apparently she invited Typhoon fucking Mary because everybody's sick. She's getting to school sick. Everybody's getting sick now, and they brought it here. Melanie's sick. I'm getting sick. My throat hurts, and I'm getting stomach problems, so it's not fun at all right now. So getting to go out with my wife, and because she had to go get her medication, I didn't want her to do it herself. I wanted to go help her. And I don't drive. They're not giving me I'm not getting a license anywhere because half my body sometimes just dies. So they're not giving me a license. But I thought I could help my wife out a little bit by, going with her and just running in the stores, running and get her medication and all that. I don't do these things. I have not done anything like this in 8 years. And I came into a situation that I simply don't do very often. I don't do it very often. So I went right to the Army, 18 years old, right out of high school. Basically have never been a completely independent adult. The Army did most of my stuff Army makes your life very easy. As long as you don't fuck up, Army life is pretty simple. Bills, you pay your bills, but they're really streamlined. Everything's simple. Everything's simple. They don't want you to think too much. Very simple shit. Because when you think too much, you fuck stuff up and you only hurt the team. So it's rough. It's in some instances it's rough, but it's also a very easy life to be accustomed to. And then I got married very young as well. I got married at 19. So I always had a wife to do a lot of things for me. So going out and doing something like this, I pumped gas. I went and paid for gas here in Germany too, which is something I try to avoid, going to cash registers and talking and interacting with Germans. I just don't do it. It's just not my thing. It was just a very strange, and I know to everybody listening is like, what the hell is he fucking talking about? He went and pumped gas. He paid his bills. So what? Who cares? It was significant to me. I haven't been useful like that to the world or interacted with the world in that manner in a very, very long time. So it was just kind of a very interesting day, and it was fun. It was fun in some ways, but I'm also in a hell of a lot of pain, and so I'm balancing all of that. It's just something that I just found unbelievable enjoyment in. It was just being an adult and doing little things that I normally don't do. It's amazing what those type of things will do to your fucking mind, man. When you're sitting there and you just think about the things that you don't typically do, and then you do them. Those experiences define your day. And it makes you think about things like, oh man, this is kind of cool. It was just something really, really neat. I kind of wanted to share that with you guys. One other quick little story I wanted to share with y'all. Jay Davis, my man, Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah, real quick, want to talk about him. His brand new music video drops today. It's out on 4/20, which is so appropriate. It's out and it's glorious. It's glorious. It's there for mass consumption. So make sure you guys go check it out, man. Notice Me. It released today. It's awesome, man. So got to check that out. Real Talk, Metaphor Messiah. Go check him out on www.realtalkthetruth.com. Check him out Reverb Nation, same moniker, all of that stuff. SoundCloud, YouTube, Real Talk the Truth. There you go. He's super easy to find, and he's got a brand new video. Notice Me. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. So congratulations to you, my friend. Couldn't be more proud of you. Couldn't be more proud of you. Before we get to the meat and potatoes of the show, the Conor McGregors, the Raws and all that, there is one other story I kind of want to share with you guys, because my mother has been a part of this show. You've heard her call in. We've had fun with my mom and stuff. I have a very contentious relationship with my mother for many, many different reasons. She's basically the devil. I mean, my wife has challenged my mother to a fight before. Okay, so it's just a very, very interesting woman. She's crazy, and she makes very disturbing life choices sometimes. And one of those life choices was to divorce and then remarry my stepfather, who I loved to death. He was my best friend for a very long time. He let's just say he made some dishonorable extracurricular choices in his marriage with my mom, and it's caused some friction, obviously, but during that time, during his midlife crisis problems, he ran up a very big debt. I'm talking like 6 figures worth of debt. And he had a consort. And when my mom came back into the picture, this consort went away. And to do that, she was a drug addict. And she's also kind of crazy. And to get her to go away, they bribed her. Basically, they fucking bribed her. They gave her a car. And they also, for some reason, gave her a PayPal credit card. Now, this is all in their name. This is all in their name. And they gave this woman who was a drug addict, who was a psychopath, they gave it to her and just expected that would be it. Well, this week, my daughter had her birthday. And they said, okay, we're going to send $100 so you can help get her a new bike, which is great. We really needed help. I was very excited. Money didn't come, when they said on her birthday, the day after her birthday, 2 days after her birthday, the money never showed. And then Monday, my mom decides to tell me that, well, the car that I told you about, it was found in California, destroyed. Destroyed, and they're getting kind of in trouble over that. And then she told me that she was worried about sending me the money through PayPal because this woman racked up like $16,000 worth of debt on the card, which they are claiming is not their responsibility, which is just basically my parents in a nutshell. Nothing's ever on them. It's always somebody else. I love my mother. Don't get me wrong. She's great. She can be one of the most loving, caring people in the world, but she's also one of the worst human beings on the planet in some regards as well. And very funny woman. At least she's entertaining. There are plenty of people who have awful mothers, but they're not fucking entertaining. My mom gives me material that I can use for the rest of my life. So for that, at the very least, I say thank you, Mummy. Thank you very much, Mummy. So, anyways, after all of that, they did end up sending the money through PayPal. It all worked out very well. It was just finding all of this out the way that I had to find it out. They had to bribe this woman, man, with a car and fucking credit card stuff, man. It's crazy. And they found the car in California destroyed. Fucking love it. Love it. That's good stuff. Frenchie Ben up in the chat talking shit. Come on, I just took the car to go to 7-Eleven. I left it there and it was fine. Yes, Frenchie Ben is the consort. I don't know. Hey, just quick reference. Just wanted to let everybody know people are seeing, commenting on the chat. Tommy C did a video earlier today saying that his channel was going to be down for who knows how long. He might be back up tomorrow, might be a few days, might be a few weeks. We don't know. He's going through some personal stuff in his life that he's just trying to get his head in the right space, and he will be back bigger, better than ever, because that's just what Tommy does. So there you go. Much love to my good friend, my best friend, Tommy C. I love that man. So all well wishes. Please hit him up on Twitter. Let him know that you're thinking about him, that his family's in your thoughts. I'm sure it'll mean something. Or he might tell you to go fuck. You never know with Tommy. It's kind of the beauty of knowing the man. So go ahead and make sure you give him a little bit of love there. Joseph Blunt, no offense to your mom, but willingly giving a card to a druggie whilst it is being in her name, she's likely going to be liable for $16,000. No fucking shit, Joseph Blunt. No fucking shit. I tell her this. She does not believe it. She thinks that she could talk to these credit card companies and convince them that no, they're not responsible. No, they're not. My mom is insane. She's fucking crazy. But the funny thing is, you would not believe how many times she's actually gotten away with this shit. It would blow your mind to see some of the things that she's fucking pulled off, especially when she was younger and she was a good looking woman and stuff. Now she's old and fat. She kind of looks like me. It's not good. It's not good. Matthew Camarillo, the Panthers just took the franchise tag off of Josh Norman. Now he's a free agent. Bears should sign him and Dave. I agree. The Bears should sign Josh Norman. But it makes you wonder if the Panthers don't want him back. Why? Why? They were well under the cap. Why? So I always like to ask the question why. But another topic for another day because I don't care about Josh Norman. King Coke, my mother's a bitch. Hey, you know what? And I feel you. I also hate the fact that you have to respect your parents. You have to respect your mother, your father, no matter what. I think that's bullshit. My mom tries to pull that shit on me sometimes. My mom will call me a cocksucker during a call. I'll be like, what the fuck, man? Don't you get uppity with me. You just called me a cocksucker. It's fucking crazy. That's crazy. What do you mean? I have to respect you even though you've thrown phone books. Las Vegas phone books. Las Vegas phone books. You know how big a fucking Las Vegas phone book is? It's fucking huge. You've thrown these books at me. You don't deserve respect. You earn respect. You're not just given it. I don't care if you are a fucking parent. Look, my daughter one day, she's going to be standing outside of a Circle K, smoking a cigarette, talking to her friends about what kind of a fucking asshole I am. More than likely, if I have deserved that moniker. If not, if I have earned the respect of my daughter and she looks up to me as a positive role model, that's fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to that. And that's what it keeps me going on that path to be a good person. You know, to be that type of person that my daughter is not going to be flicking cigarette butts at her goddamn psychiatrist one day. Fuck that. No. And I will never guilt trip my daughter into respecting me just because I'm her parent. Now, I'm bigger than her so she can fear me. And that's logical. But when she gets older, it's going to be her determination whether or not that I deserve the admiration, respect, whatever you want to call it, that so many institutions say that you should automatically give to your parents no matter what. No, I'm not with that. Sorry, just saying. Alrighty, let's get into it, man. Let's get this show started. Let's officially get copious, shall we? I think we should. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, man, to show a little bit of love to the channel. Also, subscribe if you're so inclined. Go ahead and share this out on the Twitters, on the Instagrams, wherever else you share shit. Go ahead and share. Let the world know that you're watching Dead on Dave, the copious fat man, and tell the world that they can call in and have a good time with me, too. Yes, have a good time with Dead on Dave. And also you can go buy yourself some gear. Look at the gear behind you. There we go. Right, there we are. The Dead on Dave merchandise store at www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. I'm actually starting to see some fucking money off of it. Finally, holy God. So continue to support that. Great shirts over there. Not just this. Whole bunch of great shirts. So make sure you guys go check that out. Hoodies, coffee mugs, all kinds of cool stuff. You can drink from my fucking face if you're so inclined. Or you could buy the coffee mug and like reenact some RoboCop shit. Even though, yes, he was shooting Gerber baby food jars. But you could shoot my face. You could shoot my face. So there you go. Also, if you're so inclined, go ahead and donate to the channel right in the description box of this video. Donations, I want to talk to you about that real quick. No longer will we have an audio sound with donations. It's too distracting during the show. No point in doing it. But if you do donate, the message will still show up on the screen so everybody will get to see what you wrote. And then at the end of the show, I will go through and read off all of the donation messages that we get, if we get any at all. If I don't see them during when it actually happens, I will make reference to it later on by the end of the show. I promise you that. So there you go. Conor McGregor, man. Let's start with that because let's be honest, it's the biggest sports story in the world. Everybody has an opinion on it. Everybody thinks they have this down pat. Conor McGregor came out yesterday with a tweet and said, made a lot of money. Thanks for the cheddar. I'm retiring young. Okay, good stuff. Everybody freaks out. Everyone thinks they understand why. Dana White is saying it has everything to do with the fact that Conor did not want to fly out to Las Vegas to shoot a promotional commercial for UFC 200. That could be true. He says it has absolutely nothing to do with money, which everybody is saying is the case. I don't believe it has anything to do with money. Conor makes a fuck ton of money by his own admission. He makes a lot of money, lots and lots of money. Should they probably be making more? Absolutely. I am sure they probably should. But all that notwithstanding, he makes good money, so I don't think this has anything to do with money. What this has to do with, what it really seems like to me, is making a decision. Now, Conor is a smart guy. He's not a dummy. He seems to be very self-aware about the things that he does. So, when he makes this decision to retire at this age, you have to look at the things that have happened to him recently and determine what is a major factor in that retirement. Now, I think it's obvious that him losing to Diaz would have some kind of effect on him. I think that everybody can make that very logical jump. But the biggest thing to me was Conor McGregor was at Carvalho's fight. Now, if you don't know who Jairo Carvalho is, he was a fighter who died earlier this month from injuries in an MMA cage. Look, the reality is this man was beaten to death. He was beaten to death. Legally, in a cage, beaten to death. Plain and simple. It was in the context of a fight. It was well within the rules, but he was beaten to death. And Conor McGregor was ringside for that fight. Absolutely right there. Saw the whole thing in fucking Dublin. And he reacted very reflectively when that happened. He wrote, "To see a young man doing what he loves, competing for a chance at a better life, and then to have it taken away is truly heartbreaking." I feel that this all really has to do with that. With all of the things that are coming out about contact sports, boxing, fighting, football, CTE, concussions, motherfuckers killing their families, all the things that have happened in the past 15 years, Dave Duerson blowing his brains out, Junior Seau, all of these guys, seeing a guy that dying in the ring. His last name is Caravello, by the way. I'm sure I'm butchering the last name. Cappuccino 081 to know his name. Just Jairo Caravello. Butchering the last name, 100% sure of it, but it's easy to find. Joao is how you spell his first name, Caravello. You start typing it in on Google, you'll find all the information. Beaten to death in a fucking ring. When all these things happen in your life and it affects you, and then you realize that you are a young man, what is he, 27, 28, something like that? He's young. When all of these things happen, you have the type of money that he has, the fame, the charisma, the speaking ability, the presence to be able to go do what you want to do in your life. Doesn't it make all the sense in the world to get out of something that potentially, especially coming after a fight that he got beaten up by a bigger man? Doesn't make all the sense in the world that now would be the time to walk away. Now, I'm not saying he's done for good. I don't know. Look, Dana White seems to think he'll be back within a year. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that's awfully presumptuous. But this is Conor McGregor. Nothing is for sure. I can tell you that. It's pretty crazy. And we're talking about a guy in the absolute prime, not only physically, but money-making potential of his life. He will never make more money or have the ability to make more money than he does right now. He's changing the financial aspect of the sport in a lot of ways. But he's got enough money where he never has to do anything again. So I think with all those things taken in consideration, that's why I think he's walked away. And the fact that he hasn't had a sit down yet, which he will soon, I'm sure of it, And I think that's what he's going to explain. I got a feeling that he will cite that. I mean, come on. When you're a fighter and you just got beat and you sit at cage side and you watch someone that you know get beaten to death, that will affect you. That will affect you. Jordan Turner says, in my opinion, when I saw some WWE tweeting and possibly coming to WWE, I don't see that happening. I agree with you, Dave. This is probably the reason that McGregor is retiring. Look, the WWE is just smart by making any sort of link to Conor McGregor coming to WWE. It's just they're putting their name in there 100%. That's what I think it is. And I don't think it has anything more to that. I don't think there's any real good possibility of McGregor becoming a pro wrestler. Maybe a manager, maybe a commentator, maybe something like that. But becoming a pro wrestler, probably not. That's because if he's getting out because of dangers, which is completely fine, then boom, there you go. Joseph Blunt, he's getting out because he doesn't want to fight CM Punk. No, that's not the reason. Matt Ernie, Dave, would you really want to be a wrestler knowing what we know about concussions now? Well, here's the thing, Matt. When I was 18, I fucking knew if you get dropped on your head and you get a concussion, it can fuck you up for your life. I didn't need CTE research. I didn't need Dave Duerson blowing his brains out. I didn't need Chris Benoit murdering his family. I didn't need these things to tell me that getting knocked in your head can fuck you up. When I was a football player, I got 4 concussions. I got a concussion my only 2 weeks of wrestling school. I didn't tuck my chin. Got a concussion. I didn't care. I like what I did. I was passionate. That's why I did the things I did. And that's why these guys do the things they did. It's why Daniel Bryan would have killed himself if WWE wouldn't have stepped in and really just protected him. You know, they're passionate. So they continue to do the things they want to do. So I don't know. This whole thing is now we know that head injuries can fuck. How do you not know before that head injuries could fuck you up? Getting hit in the head and then you can't talk right for a fucking week. I got hit so hard once that I saw blue for like a week. I saw blue in like everything, a little splotch of blue. Guess what? I went to the doctors. You know, it's crazy to me to think, oh, well, we've learned so much. Motherfucker, if you get hit in the head, you know something's wrong. You choose to go forward. And goddamn it, that's your right to do so. It's your right to do so. It's also the NFL's, the NHL's, WWE's, whoever it may be, to protect their workforce and try to make what they do as safe as humanly possible. I think that's very important. So, we'll see. Carl Gibney says McGregor and Rousey, repping Shane, versus Triple H and Stephanie for rights to Raw at SummerSlam. Oh, God. Cappuccino, he would make an appearance or a one-time fight, but doubt he'd do anything else with WWE. I agree. Jordan Turner, hey, Dave, why are WWE fans speculating that McGregor possibly might be headed to WWE? In my opinion, I doubt he comes to WWE. Because that's what wrestling fans do. We speculate. We bullshit. We think we know everything. And because McGregor, and just like Chael Sonnen, everybody said when Chael Sonnen failed that drug test and he was done fighting, that he was definitely coming to the WWE. Had to be. Because he's so charismatic. And the same thing with Conor McGregor, because he reminds you of a professional wrestler so much that it's obvious he has to become a professional wrestler. No, he doesn't. There is absolutely no link that is. He's never really talked about becoming a professional wrestler. He liked to fight. Then again, he likes money too. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he will become a wrestler because he won't be getting punched in the face. More than likely, he's not going to get beaten to death in the confines of a cage like he had to sit there and watch his buddy get beaten to death. So I don't know. You never know. But that's why. I mean, that's why wrestling fans do it, is because that's what they do. That's what we do. The community is about speculation. Cappuccino, speaking of concussions, those ECW guys that died recently should have donated their brains. I bet they can make a big case on how dangerous they can be. We know that concussions are dangerous. Look, the whole donating of brains is fucking great. I love that people are donating their brains. But here's the thing. It's fucking pointless. Because all of these guys who are donating their brains, we know what we're going to find. We know what we're going to find. It makes no sense to me that people are making such a big deal over Dale Earnhardt donating his brain. A guy who has had, funnily enough, multiple concussions, many concussions reported through his years of racing. Racing. Because your head's not supposed to get jerked like this into fucking cars. Pieces of metal shouldn't be hitting your head. That shouldn't be happening. So you get concussions. But making a big deal over what they find in these brains that are being donated by professional athletes who have documented concussions makes no sense to me. Because we know we're going to find that. We know we're going to see. We know that there's going to be brain degradation in these guys' brains when they die. There's not a whole lot more information that's going to be told. It's healthy brains and direct links to CTE that need to be studied, which will never be studied. What you need to do is you need to get yourself a 20-year-old. You see where I'm going here. A 20-year-old who's never been subjected to anything in his life, bubble boy, and then you need to beat the shit out of him for 10 years and then study the brain then. Or ideally, you get twins. And then you keep one healthy, and then you beat the shit out of the other one, and then you compare fucking brains. That's what you do, and that's how you'll get information. We know CTE is a link to concussions. We know this. But here's the thing. CTE is only findable post-mortem. It's non-diagnosable while you're alive. You know why? Because they gotta fucking cut your brain open. There's only so much research that you can do on a brain. Brains are complicated. But look at Daniel Bryan. Look at Daniel fucking Bryan. All the tests that he was getting cleared by some of the leading concussion experts in the world told him that he was ready to go back. Then a concussion protocol that he did not think about getting, he gets done, and then bang. They find some, because he went like this during the concussion test. He made some gestures that he doesn't typically make, and his brain lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. There you go. And they found what was wrong. It's incredible. It's incredible. The brain is so complicated. We still don't know what the fuck dreams are. We still don't know why we dream. We don't know nothing about what we don't know nothing. Listen to me. We don't know much about dreaming, man. It's just crazy. And we've been studying dreams. There's been dream clinics for like 70 years. Don't know shit about dreams. Nothing. Still can't tell me why I feel like everything in my dream is fucking real. The brain is unbelievably powerful and at the same time very delicate. It's scary. Scary. So there you go. That's my take on Conor McGregor. I feel he will be back in some form or capacity. Maybe not as a fighter. We're going to at least coming back to explain exactly why his reason. Because Conor, he's pretty good about stuff like that. And he likes to tell a story. And I'm sure we're going to get a hell of a one about this. So we'll see. All right. Let's get into the NHL playoffs for a few moments. Just a few moments. Not many things. Just a few moments. Blackhawks are about to get eliminated, which is not even a big story to me because, you know, the way they play, they've shot themselves in the foot many times during this series. St. Louis is a tough team. They've just outworked them. They've outplayed them. But for me, these playoffs are becoming about bitches. They're becoming about bitches. Abdicator down in Detroit, Duncan, Keith, and Shaw from the Hawks, and I know there's a few others. Guys acting like bitches on the ice. Now, everyone's making a big deal over Shaw being, first saying the word fag. on the ice directed at a referee, which he has now admitted to and apologized for. He was suspended, and he has to go to sensitivity training, which is completely fine, by the way. I'm not even knocking it, because if the NHL wants their players to represent the company and or the organization, the NHL in that manner, completely fine. That's just what it is. I'm okay with you wanting your employees to represent you in this manner. That's fine. Even though if that runs contrary to the fact that they're fucking hockey players, that it's a brutal game, that they beat each other up. Apparently none of that matters, because you can't say the word fag. You can't use racial slurs, which I think you probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't. But should you be suspended for it? That I'm not so sure about. But that's just the world that we live in. The thing is with that, with the name calling, if you're going to get suspended for fag, then you need to be suspended for butthole. Because somebody out there with IBS is like, oh, what does that mean? Why is he a butthole? That's insensitive to my anal issues. You know, I mean, you might think that's crazy, but if enough people started using the word butthole, trust me, somebody would be like, they need to stop it. It's really offending me. And that's kind of what we're opening the floodgates to. Look, fag and racial slurs are easy targets because they are so polarizing. They're so punch you in the face. Cunt, so punch you in the face. They're grating words. They're not degrading, grating. They grate on you. They grate upon you. They are emotional evoking words. They evoke emotions within people. Most people, not all. Some people can disconnect between words, feelings, and collective thought. But not everybody. Most people, they're affected by words. They're affected by things that they hear, which is completely fine. Now, being affected and overreacting and taking drastic action and agenda baiting and all these things, now that's completely wrong and all that. Now, all that about Andrew Shaw notwithstanding, I think he should have been suspended, but not because he used a gay slur. No, he should have been suspended because he acted like a fucking animal on the ice after the fucking buzzer. He got like a double minor after the goddamn game ended. He acted like a fucking animal. A fucking animal. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Fuck Duncan Keith. Fuck Andrew Shaw. Fuck Abdicator. Fuck all of these goddamn bitches who can't take, can't deal, can't cope with either their failing teams, their failing bodies, or the reality that maybe their lives aren't as fucking golden and pretty as they thought they were. Whatever the case may be, whatever is making these men act like bitches, it's not acceptable, at least not to me. So there's my NHL talk. That's what I want to talk about with the NHL. And that's about it. Now let's get to the final thing. Well, Frenchie Ben, hockey is good except for the players Dave talks about. Keith, Sean, Abdicate. Hey, I love hockey, man. Hockey is good. Who said hockey was bad, Frenchie Ben? Are you trying to make it out like I'm saying that hockey sucks? No, I'm just saying these bitches are a problem. That's all. I'm just calling out the bitches. What's wrong with that? Final thing I want to talk about, then we'll open up to calls and all that good stuff. But the thing that I've been wanting to talk about for a couple of days is Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is an issue. It has a problem. This week's Raw I actually enjoyed. If you watch the review, which I'll probably link, I'll put a card up here at some point, like it'll show up right here. Go watch my Raw review. I liked Raw for the most part, but it was long. And I know it's no longer than it always is. It's always 3 hours. Sometimes it goes really fast. Last week went really fast. This week felt like forever. The common thread is, on average, God, these 3 hours just do not go by fast enough most of the time. And that's because it's 3 fucking hours. 3 hours is a long time no matter how you slice it. It's a long time to sit in a movie theater. It's a long time to have sex. It's a long time to watch anything. They're trying, I mean, even football games are too goddamn long at 3 hours. Jesus, man. That's why nowadays you got to watch Red Zone. You got to watch Red Zone because so you can watch all the games at once, because fuck, who wants to sit there and watch one regular game for 3 hours? That thing's dying. That's dying doing that. People aren't doing it as much. I only watch Red Zone when I watch football. Baseball, it's all about getting the time down. Now, like, you want games to be 2.5 hours or less. It's got to be. You can't have 3 hours a game. So I digress on all that. Raw is too goddamn long. That third hour is abysmal, man. And it's not just that third hour. It's just 3 hours is too much. You can pack 3 hours very well. I think it's done more times than we give credit for. But there's enough failings. There's enough failings that make you stop, pause, and go, fuck, man. It's a lot of shit that we're saying. And here's another issue with it. I think 3 hours on a Raw takes away from pay-per-views that are also 3 hours long, except for now. I mean, hell, because everything is 3 hours now, they had to add a fourth hour to SummerSlam and now WrestleMania. WrestleMania was on for 7 goddamn hours. 9, if you really think about it, because WrestleMania ended up being a 5-hour show in and of itself. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's too long. And look, you want these pay-per-views to go that long. It's fine. They should feel special. They should feel like, oh, we're getting more wrestling. That's great. That's what we want. But Monday Night Raw being 3 hours, you just can't fill it. You can't make people important when you're trying to stretch out a show. Now, the reality is, on your typical Monday Night Raw, with the viewing audience that we have now, a lot of them just don't want to watch 3 25-minute matches in a show. They're not going to sit there. They're going to tune out. They're going to lose interest. And that's why we see a lot of these microwave matches on Monday Night Raw where things go quickly and, you know, the matches get over fast. They want instant gratification. They want to get to the next thing. They want to really hit that shit hard. Joseph Blunt says 3 hours of Raw plus 2 hours of SmackDown, 1 hour of NXT a week, and maybe even a pay-per-view added to that. That's a lot of time for a working guy to commit to wrestling. No wonder why ratings are down. Ratings aren't down because of that. Ratings are down because the entire industry is down. And fuck, I think that point's not valid at all, because when the ratings were at the absolute highest, you had 3 hours of Monday Nitro, you had 2, sometimes 3 hours of Raw, you had Thursday SmackDown, you had Thursday Night Thunder, you had multiple pay-per-views throughout, and people were watching all of it. So no, I don't agree with that, because I think if it's good and captivating, you want more. And remember, that was a time when the demographic that WWE was actually shooting for was 18 to 35-year-olds, the working guys, college working people. That's when they were actually targeting that group. They're not targeting us anymore. They're not targeting that group anymore. They're targeting kids. So when you target the kids, you don't go for the longer matches that would appeal to your former key demographic. You go for the shorter matches because kids have a shorter attention span. You want to go with more action, colors, lights, characters, because that's what you feel is going to attract that demographic. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way quite often. Friendship Ben, television ratings are down overboard. All over, not just in wrestling. Look, television is not the same as it was many years ago. Yes, a very special event will still draw amazing ratings. Still. No question. No question. But we talk about Raw's ratings being down, yet they were number 3 this week on cable. Most of the time, they're number 1, 2. They're right there. They're right there. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? And things that they're getting beaten by is shit like Love and Hip Hop, which isn't drawing all that higher, but it's just because it's television different. The way people are consuming shows is different. They're finding ways to stream. They're finding ways to watch it on Hulu, on all those fucking streaming sites. It's just television is different. So I think for all of those reasons and many, many more, Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. They need to go back to 2 hours immediately. You need to go back to focusing on building stars. And those microwave matches, those shorter matches, don't seem to be such a big deal because they're not getting lost in a 3-hour show. When you have these microwave matches, when you have these short matches that don't really matter much on a 3-hour program, you're like, but there's 3 hours here. How can you have AJ Styles and Adrian Neville go for 6 minutes? You got 3 hours. It doesn't make any sense. But in a 2-hour show, when you're trying to really highlight other people and everything else that's going on, you can get away with it. And then when you do have a 15, 20-minute match, that match feels more epic because of how much time that it took up during the show. See, the NXT that I loved the most out of the last 2 years was friggin' Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe. The 2 out of 3 falls, because it felt special. It felt like an event. That's what we need to get back to. Now, Carl Gibney says something that I've said many, many times of why Raw will never go back to 2 hours. Raw won't go back to 2 hours because the advertisement revenue they get to make up for losses on pay-per-view as they are all on the WWE Network now. See, what Carl doesn't understand is WWE is now profitable on the WWE Network. And they're actually now, you got to think about it. They have, at last number, was 1.8 million. Paid subscribers, 1.8 million. That's the latest number that's been released. And that actually, the more updated number is coming May 20th, I think, the day before my birthday. The Q1 profit report. So we're going to find out exactly what it is. 1.8 million. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. They're all paying $10 a month. $10 a month. It's a lot of money. If it's just one thing, I mean, just think about it in simplest of terms. 1 million people paying $10 million, paying $10, that's $10 million a month. Over the course of a year, that's $120 million that they're making off the network. $120 million. That doesn't include gates. That doesn't include merchandise. The ad revenue, I don't think is as important as it once was. And I think eventually, when the network does continue to grow, which I do think it will because it is such a good value, and I think if you are a wrestling fan, it is almost a necessity with a lot of the shows that are coming on. Edge and Christian is finally getting good. Swerve is coming back. We got that cartoon show, Can't WWE, looks really good. All of these things. So the money's there. The money is there. The advertising revenue, I think, is less of an argument than it once was. Will they let go of it? I think the bigger the network gets, the more willing they will be to do so. And hopefully they will. Because Lord knows they need to. Lord, they need to make this move. Because I am afraid that eventually, people are going to completely get tired of this format, and that's just going to be it. But we'll see. I don't know. Time to open up the phone lines. I want to hear what you guys have to say about anything that I've talked about the show or anything else. Go ahead and call in now on Skype, David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or use the number 702-751-2902. And while we're waiting for the calls, if there are any, if not, I'll get up out of here. NXT tonight. I don't know that I'm going to be doing NXT review tonight, or maybe ever again. I don't know. Maybe at least not live. I think I might go back to doing them the way I used to the day after, where I do match by match, segment by segment. It's a lot of staying up for not a whole lot of reason. I mean, I appreciate the people who always show up for it, but it's a lot of work to put in something for me because I'm up all night doing it for not a whole lot of gain, So, and I think that I've been overexposing myself as of late as well. So that's something else I want to take in consideration. Let's go ahead and take a call, though. 310, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Hey, dude, what's up? I totally agree with you with Raw being way too fucking long, dude. I literally, I can't tell you how many times when the 10:30 mark comes around, I'm literally about to fall asleep. The show is so fucking long.
It takes you out of it.
Ridiculous.
You're just like, God damn.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, you know, they back in the day, remember back in the 90s Attitude Era, they had the 2-hour Raw. You know, it wasn't 3 hours, it was 2 hours. And they were able to get all their main storylines built on there. And that was the best thing. And they would save the long matches and everything for pay-per-views and whatnot. Yeah. What they can do now is they can put those matches on SmackDown. That would make SmackDown a better show. You know,
yeah, I think going 2 hours, yeah, it would do that. It would give you the ability to leave the audience wanting more as well.
Exactly, and then you put all that on, and then you keep the matches limited because we used to only see maybe like 4 or so matches on Raw, and you know now you can put those long matches you want on SmackDown, and then you know by default,
you can just save them for the pay-per-view as well. I think this also helps building to a pay-per-view match, your big money match. Which look. We're also talking in terms that are kind of dead in the wrestling industry. This is the type of thinking that was prominent 20 years ago. They've gotten away from that, not just recently, but in the last 10 years. I mean, really, the entire Cena era has not been built on selling that big pay-per-view match. It's selling the John Cena experience. That's more of what wrestling has become.
It's not about the match.
No, it's not. It's about selling the personal experiences with these superstars, which, to the demographic that they're trying to adhere to, is not a terrible strategy. You know, it's something that worked before, and then eventually the crowd gets tired of it or whatever, and shit happens, and you know people move on, and then they go and move on as well, and they go back to the things that work. It's cyclical. I've said this many times in this show. Wrestling as an industry is cyclical, and it's. If you need any proof of that, look at all the failing wrestling companies that are out there now. The reality is there is not a demand by the masses like people think there is. I mean, there are so many people who defend Lucha Underground and say that's what wrestling needs to be. Well, only about 120,000 people give a fuck about it.
Exactly, and anyone that's watching that is really wants to see it because...
And that's completely fine. But that organization can't sustain off those numbers. TNA is a fucking disaster. You really want to see the future of Lucha Underground? Look at TNA. They're going to be in worse shape than TNA, and TNA is in that shit is disturbing.
They're fucking, especially with losing their top 2 guys with just recently. So, I mean, it really shows you that they're just losing fucking connection with their audience.
Yeah, well, TNA's been doing that for a long time.
It's a disaster. I know. But yeah, I mean, it really, and like you were saying, they're trying to reach a younger demographic. I mean, if you're not putting on matches and putting on promos, you can have these people listen in, you know, closer and actually build with the storyline. When you're putting on meaningless matches, I mean, put that on a different show. Right? I mean, you could put those good matches like on a SmackDown and make that show better. It's just logic. I don't know why they don't. And 3-hour Raw isn't going to happen for a few more years because they have that contract with NBC Universal. But you know. Is what it is.
Well, you know, that contract can be skewed. I mean, bringing SmackDown over, I think, was actually one of the first steps to taking the 3rd hour off of Raw. Bringing SmackDown over to USA, I think, changes things a little bit because now they're getting that content. Now they're getting 4. If they go 2 and 2, they're getting 4 hours instead of 3. There's nothing wrong with that. And also, USA isn't hurting for ratings as a whole. USA does very well.
Yeah, they're doing really good, yeah.
They got all kinds of shows that, hell, for the past 10, 15 years, they've been doing this with shows like Psych and Burn Notice, fucking that doctor show, The Royal Pains. It's just Suits. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just there's constantly shows that are on USA. So they're not hurting for content. So if WWE wants to take that 3rd hour away, which, by the way, if you've been paying attention to the ratings, that 3rd hour dropped to under 3 million viewers.
It's very rare that it goes up.
Jesus, that's not good.
It's like, I mean, because like you said, if they're going to target kids, why are you going to have another hour that goes to 11 o'clock? The parents are going to be like, go to bed, you know?
Yeah, it's counterproductive ridiculous. When you think about it, too. If the demographic that they're looking for is the younger kids, keeping them up to 11 just doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense. It's counterproductive.
Yeah, I mean, if they did this back like 15 years ago, like you said, that the demographic, like if they're not targeting what they want to be targeting, so they're doing everything ass backwards right now.
Well, you know, you would think that would be true until you look at the money numbers. When you look at the financials, that's not the case.
Yeah.
It tells a different story. The financial numbers say that they're doing everything right. That this past 6 to 8 months, with going back to the third quarter of last year, where they started posting a profit again for the first time in a little while, and big profits, not little profits, big profits. Because I don't know about you, I sit in on every one of those conference calls. I used to be an investor with the WWE.
Oh, really?
Not anymore. I got out a long time ago. I bought it when it was still like $9, and I got out when it was like 11, and then it shot to $30, and I felt like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's down. Now it's around 17, 18 bucks. Today it's like 16.74, something like that. But I sit on those conference calls because that's the realest shit that you can find. All the executives, they talk, and they talk about, you know, the quarterlies and all the numbers and stuff, and you get the actual facts that they can't fudge. These are the numbers that they have to disclose to their shareholders. They have to do it. So you know it's on the up and up, or they could lose everything. Yeah. So those are what I base a lot of my assumptions, my opinions off of. And the fact is, those numbers are telling a story that over the past 6 to 8 months, they are doing things correctly, at least from a financial standpoint. Because as I try to say so many times, us on the internet, the YWC, the IWC, the Smarks, we're a very small minority. We're a vocal minority, but we're a minority nonetheless.
Yeah, there's more casual fans than there are smarts and narcs.
Oh, no question. And, you know, that's always kind of been the case, except for that Attitude Era, which it was just college students going fucking crazy because of the hot chicks and the violence and the attitude of the older, the adults having that attitude of like, fuck the man, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you hate your boss? I hate my fucking boss, you know? Now everyone's scared. Now everyone's a pussy.
Well, yeah, and back to what you were saying about the money, man. I mean, they're making it because that network, and you got another big promotion on their NXT, which a lot of people buy the network just to see something like NXT. So it's kind of a, you know, I mean, you're going to get a way better deal than I think $10 a month, and you get all that content. Is really, I mean.
The network's going to continue to grow. I believe that. I don't see the network ever failing, because if you like wrestling at all and you like the WWE product, I mean, if 4 million people are watching Raw around, you know, 3.5, whatever it is, if those are the guys that are watching Raw, then really, if the right content is being directed towards them, there's no reason why 70 to 80, maybe even 90% of those people shouldn't be buying the network, because it's a great fucking value. I'm not sucking the dick here. The network is an amazing value. If you love the old stuff, it's all there. Value. ECW, NW, I mean, there's all kinds of shit that's on there. Clash of the Champions, WCW, it's all fucking there. And then the new content, Swerved, Corey Graves, fucking Renee Young, all these people have great shows. It's an awesome thing, dude. I love it.
Yeah, and here's the last thing I want to say before I head out. You know, when WWE is making Raw their main show, you know, their main attraction, it really would speak volumes if that was really what they're getting a lot of their viewership from, you know. And listen, who cares where you're getting your money from, as long as you're getting a good profit. But really, it would really speak more volumes if it came from Raw, you know, in the viewership and their audience too, if it was drawn more from their main show. So. Yeah,
I mean, the better Raw is quality-wise over a long period of time is going to help draw viewers. And I think even with this week's Raw, which not everybody loved, not everybody hated, it was just kind of it just felt like, like I said, I liked Raw. It just really felt long to me. If it would have been a 2-hour show, I probably would have gave it an 8 or a 9. But the 3 hours it dragged for me. But I still liked the show. I thought it was a good show. But the last 3 weeks have been really good.
Booking.
What's that?
It's really their placement booking.
I agree.
Where they placed I mean, they should have put that WWE title segment last instead of at the beginning of the second hour. It didn't really make much sense. I mean, really, those are the small things. If they want to keep it 3 hours, if they just booked correctly in terms of just placement booking, it's simple. And you put things in certain areas of the show, you know, you can keep a the audience, full through, which is hard to do. But if you do, you can pull it off.
I think it's also a little fair to talk about some of the other things that's happening right now. This is the England tour. This is the European tour, which is always wonky. Numbers wise, quality wise, it's always wonky. Also, the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, and Major League Baseball, they're all going right now. So this is a competitive time. People always talk about, well, WWE is only really fucked when Monday Night Football's on. That's not really true. This time, right now, this 4 to 6 week stretch is really dangerous for the WWE because there's so much competition.
Yeah, but I still applaud them for getting the numbers that they're getting with all of those things on. And even if I'm not necessarily on Mondays, I mean, you still got all these things that people want to get tuned into, like you said, with the playoffs and all that.
Yeah.
And of course, the start of baseball. It's really a big competition out there for them. So.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's really rough.
Yeah, and whoever comes out there to watch, really, that shows how faithful those viewers are. Anyway, I'm going to head out, dude. Thanks for taking my call, and talk to you later.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for letting me step on you a lot.
No problem, dude.
Take it easy, buddy. Have a good night.
I
think that was Raw, everybody. I believe it was Raw. So I see Jay Davis up in the chat, still hanging out. I appreciate that. Real Talk Medical Messiah, his brand new video off of his latest album, Black Mozart. The video is for Notice Me. It dropped today, and apparently it's hot fire. It's hot fire, man. Make sure you guys go check out that new video from Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. Real Talk, if you want to place that link in the chat, please go ahead and do so. Let's take another call. 718-718, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
What's going on, Dave? Before I start talking about Raw, I just have to say one thing. Tom Thibodeau just got hired by the Timberwolves as their head coach.
Mistake by the Timberwolves, but that's okay.
And president of basketball operations.
Oh, they did give him the president? Oh, God. Oh, all right. Now I've got to talk about that for a second. Did they not see how Tom Thibodeau grinded up the players for the Chicago Bulls? Can you see that at 28 to 31 years old, how many Chicago Bulls players that were with him through his main run are fucking worthless now? He grinds players up. And Minnesota's a young, talented team. He is going to grind these fucking kids up because he demands 100% max effort all of the time. You can't do it. You can't run all of your starters out there for 40 to 42 minutes a game, grinding them out. It just doesn't work. Derrick Rose's leg fell off because of Tom Thibodeau. Terrible idea. I think it's a mistake. I like Tom Thibodeau too. Don't get me wrong. But there's a reason why the Bulls didn't win a fucking title with all the talent they had and with the great magical, mythical coach that Tom Thibodeau is. There's a reason they didn't win a title, and it's not just because of the competition in the East either.
Yeah, the only time the Bulls could have won a championship was 2012, because you're coming off D Rose's MVP season before. Then his leg fell off in the playoffs.
His leg fell off against the Sixers. Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't want to mention that. I just don't want to mention that because that's disgusting that we lost to the Sixers. But whatever. Also,
you're such a weird sports fan. You're like, you have no geographical loyalty. You have no geographical loyalty. It's so bizarre. You're like, and I'm not. It's actually kind of refreshing because you were like born in Texas, but you're a New Yorker, fucking through and through, or some shit, or was it the other way? I don't know. You're a goddamn. You sound like a New Yorker. You act like a New Yorker. The whole goddamn thing. But yet, you're a Dallas Stars fan. You like the Bulls, but you're not.
I'm a Vikings fan.
It's just fucking bizarre, man. It's so weird.
I know, but I'm loyal to these teams, man. Don't get me wrong. I love the Bulls. I love the Vikings. I love Dallas, but baseball I stay with the Yankees because I'm too good. They're too good. Because I've been in New York for at least 14 years out of my 16.
It's just weird. It's just something you don't see. There's just no geographical loyalty, which is nice in some ways, but I don't know if I can trust you fully because of it. It's just because maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe I can't grasp it. I don't know. But I ain't going to hate on your game about it. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, one more big thing that does happen in the NFL. Josh Norman's a free agent.
I talked about it. Who cares? Fuck Josh Norman.
Yeah, I don't even think he's going to be good next year, to be honest. I think it was like a one-time thing. Even though I like him as cornerback, I just don't think he's going to be as good.
Well, you got to ask yourself why Carolina would get rid of him. I mean, they had the cap room. Now they're $34 million under the cap. They got the room for him. Why not keep him? There's got to be a reason. Players that are with teams for a good amount of time, guess what? Those teams know those players, and there is a reason why they get rid of them. And usually, 9 times out of 10, it turns out they made the right move.
Because sometimes he's a salty bitch, and he starts raging and could give them like suspensions, which would be a bad reputation for the Panthers, and maybe they don't want that.
Well, he's a great player. I mean, there's no question in my mind. He's a great player. I don't know if he's the best cornerback in football. I don't know about that. But he's certainly a fantastic player. He's an unbelievably talented player. But we've seen this. Nande Asamoah for a few years back. We've seen this over and over with cornerbacks. Cornerbacks are, if you're not in the system that helps cover up your flaws, you're going to get exposed, man. You're going to get exposed real quick. You see it all the time at that position. Josh Norman was in a great system in Carolina. And unless he goes to a similar system that he knows that he could be effective, and the players can also help whatever deficiencies he might have in his game, he might be fucked. And he might get exposed. Who knows?
Yeah. One more thing before I leave. This is a very important question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. About
the Vikings. Do you think they will make it far in the playoffs? Because they didn't succeed my goals, which I had expectations for them to go far in the playoffs. You think they're going to go
probably not. I'm not. I don't think you have a quarterback. I'm not a Bridgewater guy. Adrian Peterson is going to get old eventually. I know it didn't happen last year. Eventually, the fact that he's 31 or whatever he is, it's going to catch up to him. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Same with Lynch.
But
same with Lynch.
There's a lot to it with Minnesota. I think a big problem for the Vikings also is the Packers and the Bears. They have 2 of the 3 easiest schedules in football this year. The Bears are going to be very improved. I think the Lions are going to fall off the face of the earth, but the Bears are going to be improved. The Packers are going to be right there. I don't know what Minnesota is going to do. I really don't. It would not surprise me if they won the division, and it would not surprise me if they finished 3rd.
I don't know. They looked good against the Packers. I mean,
last year.
Yeah, last year. Ever since like the last 8 games of the season, they've been on a tear.
That's last year. New season. They had to go through an off season. Schedule's different. They're going to be playing teams that are going to be reconfigured. There's just no. I don't know if, especially for a team that is not getting younger, that seems to be getting older, especially at some of the key specialty positions. There is some issues there, and I'm not convinced that Teddy Bridgewater is the guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, the reason the Vikings were so successful is because of the draft class they had last year. Because their drafting skills were just bonkers last year.
We'll see what they do this year.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Well, that's it for tonight. Keep it up, man, and I'll see you next video.
All right, man. Take it easy, Joe. I appreciate it.
Peace.
Joe Martin, everybody. Joe Martin. SF, man. Yeah, what? I'm sorry. Joseph Blunt. Dave, what do you think about the U.S. taking Jackson off the $20 bill and replacing with Harry Tubman? I have very strong feelings about Mr. Jackson. Okay? Andrew Jackson was a goddamn criminal. That man was a fucking criminal. Absolute criminal. You want to read some stories about that president, and you really want to be appalled by actions of a president, a head of state, go read about Andrew Jackson. I'm not going to sit here and regale you with tales, but this is the guy that is responsible for the Trail of Tears and many other things. Whether or not things with the Indians were started before his presidency, he was complicit during his presidency and many other things, not just that. Harriet Tubman, I think, is a great person to have on U.S. currency. It's a great thing to do. Not the first woman in currency. We've had Sacagawea and all that, but she is the first woman on. Well, actually, there was a bill, but had no run technically. I think there was one other woman on a bill, but she's the first real official one, and this is really cool. So I think that this is a really neat thing, and not for the for the inclusionary reasons that you would think. Like, we got a black woman on the $20 bill, yay for inclusion. No, it's just because she's what she did, the Underground Railroad and all the things that Harriet Tubman did is important. And people of importance deserve to be recognized, deserve to be placed on high mantles. So get it right, and it seems like in this case they did. So there you go. Jordan Turner, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
What's up, man? How you doing?
SF Man just said, what the fuck? Trail of Tears wasn't bad. Are you fucking retarded? Are you fucking retarded? Oh my God. It was genocide, you fuck. Anyway, Jordan, what you got for me, buddy?
I wanted to talk about the 3 hours of Raw.
Yeah.
I think it's too long. Lately, Raw has been good, but I've been honestly falling asleep a little bit, and it's just like the third hour kills me. It's very difficult.
It's too long. It's. I think that we've hit that on the head here. I think everyone is basically in agreement with that. It's too long. It's too long. It's too much. It's too much. Yeah. Even when it's good, too much of a good thing is still too much.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to touch upon. Do you think we'll possibly see Shane McMahon versus the Triple H rivalry?
Oh, no question.
I think
we're going to see a match. We're going to see a match between those two at some point. Absolutely.
Do you see it possibly at SummerSlam?
Yes.
I definitely see that. Too.
I don't know how much longer Shane's going to be running Raw, like in the week-by-week basis, but I don't know. Eventually, the Authority is going to show up, and they're going to want their product back, and we'll see what happens. Yes, absolutely, there will be a match, and it should be good. It should be good. We'll see.
Yes, it should be good. What do you think? I really want to get your opinion on this. What do you think about this AJ Styles and Roman Reigns thing?
I like it.
Club and
I like it. I see where it's going, and I'm liking that as well, because AJ Styles is. I'm fairly sure that AJ Styles is not really in the main event picture. What I believe is happening is this is a setup not for AJ Styles to run the Bullet Club or the Balor Club, whatever you want to call them. This is how they are going to introduce Finn Balor. That's what this is going to, and it's going to be AJ versus Finn, or AJ versus the Bullet Club, whatever you want to call it. I also think that this is also a backdoor way to get Dean Ambrose, as he's having this feud with Y2J. Y2J, baby! Having him in there with him. And the reason why they kept fucking Jericho strong is to give the rub to Dean Ambrose, who will then be going on to take on Roman Reigns, I believe, over the summer. Bray Wyatt is also a potential candidate for that as well, but we'll see if he's hurt, so who knows. I think that they're doing all of those things. I think that's what we're getting to. So I like it. I like this situation with AJ and Roman. Yeah,
me too. Do you like the way Roman is being used? Because me personally, I really liked it. I really like the way he's being used so far.
No, I don't. I don't like the way, because it's still not the proper thing with him. Because he's not that talented, man. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't like that he's coming out there every week and saying that same stupid line, I'm not a good guy. He could use that line so much better. It's so fucking annoying.
Yes, it is. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, so I'm not digging that. I think that they need to just rethink. Roman Reigns is a short burst type of guy. He can be really exciting. His matches can never go more than 10 minutes. His promos should never go more than a minute. It's just, he's a short burst guy. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm not saying that to hurt him.
Yeah.
I truly mean that. I think Roman Reigns is best suited for about a minute-long promo of him speaking. You can have other people in there talking as long as they want, like Kevin Owens. And then his matches should never go 10 minutes. Because I'll tell you, if you guys want to watch something interesting, watch Stone Cold Steve Austin's review of WrestleMania and stuff. He talks about this match between Roman and Triple H. And you know what? He got it right. He picked it apart in a way that was constructive, and it was just 100% right.
Yeah.
That match, when you go back and watch it, even though I didn't hate that match, it just showed you every reason why Roman is never going to make it in the way that WWE wants him to make it. He cannot wrestle 25-minute matches. He's not capable. They're not entertaining. So I don't know.
And I feel like they're going to make him try to go that length when he faces Styles at Payback.
It's the wrong strategy. They're trying to use a strategy with Roman that they would use with a guy who's actually a great wrestler. Roman's not.
Yeah. I got one more thing before I go.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. I brought up earlier in this conversation that I was talking to you about what's it called, Shane McMahon and Triple H. Do you think they can implement Seth Rollins into this and bring him back and have him be the guy for Shane McMahon and then have him face Triple H? So then you can end that feud between him and Triple H, and then you can resolve that.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. No question. If when Seth is ready, he is absolutely the right guy to reintroduce, or he's the guy that you could bring in after all of that stuff. Like if they want to keep Seth as a heel, because they need strong heels because they have none right now. I mean, when Chris Jericho is the biggest heel in the company, there's something wrong. And right now, Chris Jericho is the best heel they have. Sorry, Kevin Owens. It's just true. Yeah. But with Seth Rollins coming back, and if they use him right after the Authority gets killed for good, whatever, he could be like that last remaining visage of the Authority. You know, it could be an interesting way to re-implement him.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. I was thinking about an idea to bring in Seth Rollins, and I thought about that idea. So that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. Did you hear about Charlotte, and Natty? And they're saving Sasha for Charlotte for SummerSlam, and then that's when Sasha Banks is going to become the champion.
Well, yeah, I don't know about. Champion, I'm not so sure of yet, because I think Charlotte's doing a really good job. I think it's definitely possible. But yes, in people getting upset about it makes no sense in the world. I think this is a smart thing. Sometimes you need to cool off somebody for a little while. You need to go to a different feud. She just got an amazing match with Charlotte and Becky at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
What's so wrong about going to Natalya? Natalya's like 33, 34 years old. What's wrong with that? I think, and it's working. I think it's a good feud. So, yeah, I have no problem with it.
And I like how they're doing side feuds with Emma and Becky, and then Summer and Sasha. So I love the way that they're making the women's division really legit and, really formidable. So I can respect WWE on that part. And also along with the tag team division, too.
Yeah, they're making a division again, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. I know you got to get to a lot of calls, man, so I really appreciate you taking my calls.
No problem, man. I appreciate it, dude. Take it easy.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Jordan. Thanks a lot, man. Jordan Turner, everybody. Jordan Turner. Very much appreciate that. Well, here's the thing, folks. I think I'm about going to be wrapping it up, man. I'm pretty tired. I think that we've hit on everything that I wanted to hit on that I said I was going to, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you're just joining the show now, or if you have just joined the show recently, make sure you check out the beginning of it. I talk about some real personal stuff. It's kind of funny. I think you guys will enjoy it, so go check that out. So make sure you guys also check out Notice Me by Real Talk the Medical Messiah, his brand new video. Make sure you check that out. Real quick, Kevin Sosa, real quick, what you got? You're live with Dead on Dave.
Yeah, real quick. How surprised are you how bad the Chicago Blackhawks are losing in the series?
For one, I don't think they're losing badly. Every game's been close. There's been no blowouts. The Blackhawks haven't been battered or beaten or outplayed all that much. In fact, almost every loss have come all three of the losses have come to a really bad late penalty by the Blackhawks. So no, I don't feel bad in this loss. I think that this is just something that happens sometimes. There's a lot of mitigating circumstance. They've lost a lot of players that have been part of that team that they don't have right now. That is kind of sometimes these things just happen. And they got some bitch work going on. And I'm wondering if maybe Jonathan Toews is not running that team as strong as he once did. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good luck to your next game.
We'll see what happens, man. I mean, look, the Hawks are certainly capable to win 3 games in a row. We'll see. I
really want it to go 7.
I don't know. I think it might. I think St. Louis could close it out next game.
Yeah, I could see that happening, but I'm really wanting it to go 7.
Oh, me too.
Just
as a Hawks fan, I want it to go 7. So we'll see.
Screw with Jeff. The Hawks win Game 7.
Oh, Jeff will fucking kill himself. Oh my God, it'd be bad. It'd be so. I gotta get his reaction when it happens. That'd be funny. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate the call, Kev.
Yeah, good show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna take my big ass to sleep. I'm tired. Have a good night, buddy.
You too.
Thank you guys very much for joining us on this episode of Dead on Dave Live. I believe Too Tall will be going live for NXT. Make sure you check out his live reaction over XLT Live Podcast. And other than that, I think that's all I got. Thank you guys for joining us right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. Check out everything that's going on with the community. And if you don't like it, I got 2 words for you. Just kidding. King Coke says, what time is in Germany? It's 1:21 in the morning. I'm exhausted. So, like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious. Peace.